Today, Rinpoche gave an extremely detailed presentation of the 37 branches of enlightenment or aspects of enlightenment, and specifically the first 4 aspects of the close placements of mindfulness, of the bodies, feelings, minds, and phenomena. So we're entering now. Welcome everyone to the Chenrezig Tibetan Buddhist Center. Once again, we're looking at Lama Tsongkhapa's great treatise on the stage of the path to enlightenment, and specifically the section that we're looking at is dealing with the union of method and wisdom and its necessity if one wishes to become a Buddha. And we've gone through the various categories of the outline, and we see that the first category deals with the perfection vehicle and its necessity, and now we get into the tantric vehicle and the necessity of it within that particular context. So I believe that we're on page 99 in the English and page 355, I think, in the Tibetan, but I'll fix that if that's different. That's good. The training in method and wisdom comprising the 6 perfections is, as explained earlier, common to both the mantra and perfection vehicles. For in many of the tantric classics, we find repeated mention of the complete path of the 6 perfections. The complete path of the perfections, the 6 perfections, the 37 branches of enlightenment, the 16 emptinesses, etc. In the context of the explanations that the entire celestial mansions and the array of resident deities are the inner qualities of the mind. Therefore, know that all the perfection of wisdom literature's explanations about what is to be adopted and what is to be discarded are comprehensively shared with the mantra vehicle, except in the case of tantric teachings for certain exceptional persons, which they must take the experience of sensory objects as the path, and so forth. Diksung Rinpoche.
Oh, yeah, that's the matter, but that can't say what the Juncho to Mane, Paris belong to the long hand, Jaron, Hagel Hadan, and the Jay can never show soon those. The shade Marbe.
Less so.
Paris belong to the Nolo, and the Kazon say not to Gigi double at Suena, and what is Mabajaimba, don't need to do. Don't need to do to be sure to do there, and then don't you do sure to do Marbe.
So here we see in the great treatise on the stage of the path to enlightenment that it states that all of the entire celestial mansions and the array of resident deities are the inner qualities of the mind. So the excellent qualities of the mind are what create these celestial mansions, create the deity, the self-generation of the deity. So how does this come about? All of this comes about from the path of perfection. So the path of perfection is what these qualities are referring to that create the celestial mansion and create the deity. So that's the point that's made here, is that the celestial mansion and the array of resident deities are the inner qualities of the mind. And here, what are those? The 6 perfections, the 37 branches of enlightenment, and the 16 emptinesses. And here we can say the 16 wisdoms realizing emptiness.
This way.
Dixon.
Or the Jita, and Takaton also Tony Judu said, Marba. Tony Judu, the Tanga so the Shira Nibane, Pomong of the Dajan, Jitomana, the Jusao, Tony Sura, then Jeba Montan, Yetritan, Jedon to Suna Lulea, and Tony Jeba Shivan, Dubo, and Momosun, Marba.
So we have here the 16 emptinesses pointed out. And when we look at emptiness, what is emptiness referring to? It's referring to what we find pointed out in the Sutra of the Heart of Transcendent Knowledge, where it says, seeing the 5 skandhas to be empty of nature. So that's what emptiness is referring to, and where we find it referred to. So the Sutra of the Heart of Transcendent Knowledge is a very abbreviated text that we find it in, but there are more expanded explanations. And so if we look at the greatest explanation, the greatest length, we have the 100,000 verse Perfection of Wisdom Sutra, and then we have the medium amount of explanation in the 20,000 verse, and then we have a smaller amount of explanation in the 8,000 verse Perfection of Wisdom Sutra, and then the smallest amount, the most condensed amount, in the Sutra of the Heart of Transcendent Knowledge, the Heart Sutra. Jedu ni tsena?
Jeba.
Oh, the Jesho, lesser, biggest.
Then I Nietan, Jeduga, Jedu Nijugun Che waters.
Lesser.
And then Dujendo, Duna Jebigun Jews, Moduje. Then Dujendo, Miyushan Chuta Jedu, Tetan, Dojendo, Dopame, Jedu Nijugun, Somba Najin, Bonje, Jedu Nijugun, Somba Najin, Duba Nietan, Jedun to get Jedu Nijugun, Son Yores.
Lesso, the Cap Gare,
Modujeno,
Mudigen Cap Tumble. Okay. So Lesso, the Yanjer Surinang. Okay, Dixon, meeting you.
And then Bongi Jedu Nijugun Chegres.
Lesso.
Then I Nietan, Jeduga Jedu Nijugun Chegres.
Lesso. Itching you.
Yeah.
Go get my cheek. So we find in the Abhisama Alamkara, Maitreya's Ornament for Clear Realization, where it's pointed out that the varying sizes of the texts have the varying degrees of explanation. So we find that the greatest explanation is in the 100,000 verse Perfection of Wisdom Sutra. The next greatest degree of explanation would be in the 20,000 verse Perfection of Wisdom Sutra, and then the next smaller degree of explanation would be found in the 8,000 verse Perfection of Wisdom Sutra. And Rinpoche said he believes it's in the first chapter. So at break time, if there is time, I'll look up the exact place where that's pointed out and get the quote from the Abhisama Alamkara if I can.
What the Jeremy Maji Jun to Mane, Jay Condal Hai Goba Jin Jinjua, Tanji, Nag Senjin, and then la Shibite, and the Kandazia Wurasana, and the Shindu Dan, Shindu Dan Shasu Dan, Tony Judu La Subi, Paris Shimbi, Lions of Jubala Yanta Yanta Shibisharos, that Shindu Jimba Tutin about something shero to Mariba. So, and then Hagel Hay, Jay Kala Subanaba Shawala Jagores, Shanshu Sudin, Hai Jay Kana, 하이 나바샤와를 자고 그래서 돈이 주도 또 비셔 주도 이제와 네 콜라서 바르도 심비 라노서 조발아 야다야도 시비시로스.
So here it says, for in many of the tantric classics we find repeated mention of the complete path of the perfections, the 6 perfections, the 37 branches of enlightenment, and the 16 emptinesses, etc. So here it's stating that in the tantric texts we find over and over again mention of the pathway of perfection, and it's because in the context of the explanation that the entire celestial mansion and the array of resident deities are the inner qualities of the mind. So here, the whole point is that in the tantric context, the deity and the celestial mansion, the palace that the deity resides in, these things are all creations of the excellent qualities of the mind. These qualities are the pathways of perfection. Those pathways of perfection are, if we look in the context of the 6 perfections, the 6 perfections of generosity, ethics, patience, effort, concentration, and wisdom, and then the 37 branches of enlightenment, and then the 16 emptinesses are referring to the 16 wisdoms realizing these emptinesses. So there are 16 wisdoms realizing emptiness, and that's what this is referring to. So these pathways that are summarized, and then it says, etc., by the 6 perfections, the 37 practices, and the 16 emptinesses are what create the tantric deity, the tantric deities and the abode, the celestial mansion. Geshe Rinpoche.
다른 가서 샹슈 수준 된도는 말이야. 샹슈 수준도 와 샹슈 수준 이제는 이제 샹슈 수준 네, 그 송바만도 장하되어 말어. 대 바신기 베징 바신은 되어야 어떤 눈으로나 주 베징 바신 해봐.
Yo Mari.
바 베징 바신 자다. 그게 줄도.
The Nudijen Kapgare.
샹슈 수준으로
Jipa.
go 강갈 피지여야 돼.
Okay.
거 집발이요. 거 집발.
Okay, the nga pentodu. Ditsko. So today, Rinpoche said that we're going to go over the 37 branches of enlightenment. So he's going to be using that, using the Panchen Sanandrapa's general meaning of perfection in order to explain this. And I'm just seeing if I have something that will help me. Rinpoche asked if I had that. I don't have that because I didn't know we were doing that. But we'll do the best that we can in terms of this. Come on. 37. All right, I don't. Just thinking, I know it's in the. I was just hoping that at least the listing would be in the Abhisamalamkara. I know it is, but under the gun here. All right, well, I'm going to have to just do the best we can. I just don't have the... Okay. All right, Kali Kapudu. Tambo Mazuna Kali Kapudu. Selpo Lat Tugumare. Na the Shina, then Zuna Injike, then a Selpo Latu Dunda Chijema, the Kanga, the Pension Yicha, pension injike zutu ine the tanda yomare injike the becha yomare ine the juje for fear chikshina de sumje de rason
sonju dün da sonju dün shanshu su dün ro ma du yin o de kadu ra ma de ba kadu ra ma
37 okay rason 37 hours present support the path ngait sampa rason
da ga de de shanshu su dün ro shanshu su dün de ga la re la ma be shanshu su dün ga ro na la yi cha re shanshu su dün de ne tue le yo re ranje le yo re tijen pashin tiba le yo re sangha le yo sama le yo sama de mo re o de ne de ju sha ne
less so. Okay, so the 37 aspects of the Enlightenment are common to all of the pathways. So the hearers, the solitary realizers, and the bodhisattvas all have this in common. They all have the 37 branches in common. 7 plus 7 plus 8.
다 shanshu su dün de la de ne o de zen chen na tenpa nyawa jaba je tenpa nyawa jaba je ro tenpa nyawa jaba je yang ta pe pongwa je tu tu ji kamba je on bo nga to nga shanshu jin la dün pa bi lang la je o de le shanshu dün su dün lo de ma be o tu tu nga lang res
So we can divide this into then Kali Kali La Ronan Rinpoche, then Tambo Je,
tenpa nyawa jaba je yang ta pongwa je tu tu ji kamba je on bo nga to nga ne shanshu jin la dün pa bi lang la je de chen jin ma du du jin na dün ko do wa je ba jin na song ju su dün
the Tambo, the
Tambo tenpa nyawa jaba.
okay, then Gatsi Yure,
Tambo tenpa nyawa jaba la
okay, Je,
tenpa nyawa jaba je.
okay, Kali, okay, so that when we're going to break down the 37 aspects of enlightenment, I just have to do it slowly because the language, we don't have it in English, so I'm making it as we go here. So we have the 4 close placements of mindfulness. So there are 4 of those. Then the Panjaje, Pombaje,
Yang ta pe pongwa je.
Ponje. So 4 perfect abandonments. So these are the next 4. Then Gambaje,
Zutru je gamba je.
Zutru Gamba. So 4 Zutru, magic. 4 legs of magical emanation. Then the Wambunga.
Tambo nga
So then the 5 aspects of the faculties, Donga,
to nga
the 5 aspects of the strengths,
shanshu jin la dün
Dun, the 7 aspects of the branches of enlightenment,
pa bi lang la je.
and then the 8 aspects of the branches of the path of the nobles. The Kanga,
O de da de sen dün ro.
the Yapudu.
Kale jün.
Kali Juna, then a Selpo Latu. Becha Yuna, Kali Zupa Yuna.
Ta kale ro
Okay,
du
Dixon.
ma de. Tambo tenpa nyawa jaba de la
Less
tenpa
so.
nyawa jaba tambo she ro. Tenpa nyawa jaba de la ne tenpa nyawa jaba mi ba ka res mi ba.
Supo,
me ba de
Sorwa, Sam, Chu.
Me ba je. Tene me ba de wa tenpa nyawa jaba me ba. Me bi go ne gon tu go ba da no je ba no ye bi je tambo me ba ye de.
So do.
tenpa nyawa jaba me ba cho se na le sen so chu je de res.
Less so.
Le nga su bari mar ba. Ne so be ni ro.
Less so.
So je.
Less so.
ne
Sam.
sen ro ma de ba. Sen je tene chu
Chu.
je de tenpa nyawa jaba me ba so ro.
Less so.
Me ba de le sen to
Sorwa.
Sam
Chu.
le du sen chu je de res.
Less so.
Je be je kale se
Nga pento the senge zampo
Kalila.
delpa yure. Chipa.
Kalila.
Okay, so there are, what are the objects of observation? So we're going to start with the first four. The first four are the close placements of mindfulness. So what are the objects of observation of the close placements of mindfulness? There are four objects of observation. Close placements of mindfulness of body, close placements of mindfulness of feelings, close placements of mindfulness of minds, and close placements of mindfulness of phenomena. So bodies are the body, feelings are obviously feeling, minds, mind, and phenomena, we know phenomena. Dixon. Less so. She, she, nang, then, oh, nika yimba, okay. Less so. Less so. The Yanju Suruna? Less so. Less so. So when we look at mindfulness, the close placement of mindfulness of bodies, it's a little maybe different. So bodies, what can be divided into three categories. The first, outer body, inner body, and that which is a combination of outer and inner body. These Lu Sorwa Sam Chu. Okay, Lu. Okay, Dixon. Okay, Gonga Mebachik. So, an example of the outer body is anything that isn't the inner aspects of the sense powers. So, the sense powers themselves would be inner, and outer would be anything compound and uncompounded that is not that, except for that which is a combination of both, and that is the inner things that are not the sense powers, but are not outer. The accompanying factors to the sense powers that are inside, that are not that. Somewhere, where did I see a better explanation of this? Okay, Dixon. So, what is the close placement of mindfulness on the inner body? It is the lack of true establishment of the eye sense power, for instance. So the lack of true establishment of the eye sense power is a close placement of this, of the close placement of mindfulness of body, specifically inner body. Lu. His body is it. Decent. She? Oh, Wambo Mayimbi Zoo. Okay, so let me just clarify. Then a Dumaje Yomare. Okay, so let me clarify this. Outer body is referring to that which is form. It can't be uncompounded. It has to be a compound. So it's anything that's an object of observation, such as that's a form. So kanga zuyin. Okay, so if it's body, it is necessarily form. So so it's Rinpoche saying that it's anything which is not inner sense power or inner accompanying, which would be both, that is form, outer form. So that would be what would be categorized under close placement of mindfulness of outer body is what we're talking about. That which is form, which is an inner or accompanying inner. And so it's the lack of true establishment of that, which is the close placement of mindfulness. So this is the first. Diksung Rinpoche. Less so. So the way that you understand one is the way that you understand all of them. So for instance, you would say that the body has three categories: inner body, outer body, and that which is a combination of both. Inner body, again, being sense powers, the sense powers, the outer body being form, the combination of both being that which is accompanying inner. And the lack of true establishment, for instance, of this first one, the inner sense powers, when we look at that's what it means, we look at the meaning of this close placement of mindfulness of inner body is the lack of true establishment of those sense powers, then we can apply the same logic, the same way of thinking about the emptiness to the other aspects, and it's understood in the same way. Okay, decent Rinpoche. So when we look at the collection of topics in the logic primer context, we find definitions in the finiendum. So for instance, we have the definition of the Zugiseni. So the definition of form is that which is suitable to be shown as form. Zusuro Zugiseni. And if we divide form into categories, we have shape and color. Itankadok. Dene? So when we look at form source, that which so we look at a form source, we know that form source, which is that which is apprehended by an eye consciousness, is a form source, is two categories: color and shape. And then there is inner and outer form as well. So we know inner, outer, and then a combination of the two. Okay, Diksan. So this collection of both is an accompanying, sorry, this is so hard, an accompanying accompanying factor that is apprehending for the form, accompanying the sense power, apprehending the form. So it's apprehending an outer, but it is accompanying inner. So it's something which is both. So this is, there are accompanying factors, they are called. So these accompanying factors are examples, if you say show, posit that which is both, we would say the accompanying factors that accompany the sense power to apprehend the outer form. Okay, decent. Which is art. So this accompanying factor is neither outer nor inner. You can't say that it's only outer or inner. So that's why it falls into that which is both. Less so. Less so. So when we look at feeling, which is the second category, feeling is divided into three categories. Happy feelings, you can say sad feelings or feelings of suffering, sometimes painful, it's translated as feelings, and then neutral feelings. These are the three categories of feeling. I think I have it better. So we have a happy, a happy feeling, a feeling of suffering, and then actually the neutral, the word is the same word, it's equanimity. Danyom is translated as equanimity. So we use the word neutral as really a translation that makes it make sense, but equanimity is the actual literal translation of the word that's being used. So it would be a happy feeling, a feeling of suffering, and a feeling of equanimity is the literal. Chenrezig? Oh, science. Lesso. So here we get to minds, and this is something that scientists inquire about, consciousness and mind. This is something that scientists inquire about. Did Seniga Selshin Ripa Yomare? Did Senigare? The Kali Larona. Sen. Nari, okay. Then Sengi Seni Andra Suranang. Kuna, Sengi Seni. Okay, so now we arrive at mind. And mind can be divided into, Rinpoche gave the exact definition of mind. I'm going to see if I can find it. It would be best to get the exact definition. So mind is divided into 6 categories. So the eye consciousness, ear consciousness, nose consciousness, tongue consciousness, tactile consciousness, and mental consciousness. So we can divide mind into these varying categories. And here we go, 258, 235. If I can't find it quickly, it's within the lineage of that which is an apprehender and has accompanying the mental factors. But I just want to give the exact definition if it's possible. A knower of the mere entity of an object, whereas a mental factor is a knower which on the basis of observing that object engages in the object from the point of view of other features, such as the main function. Okay, so that's what a knower of the mere entity of an object, whereas a mental factor is a knower which on the basis of observing that object engages in the object from the point of the other features. So a knower of a mere entity of an object accompanied by a mental factor. That's what I have. Okay. Geshe Rinpoche.
Saint wada ga saint luri no le do luri.
Less so.
Riba lui ni lula ena luri du du yo ni son du yo ni su yo de mo yo de wa. Luri de she wu da saint chen do do no le de do ta.
So one can also look into the mind and awareness texts, the Lorig texts. So in the Lorig mind and awareness texts, we have the 7 divisions and the 3 divisions and the 2 divisions, and it's explained in various ways. And then we have mind defined as mind. You could call it awareness, defined as that which is a knower. And so in the mind and awareness texts, which we actually are lucky, we have it in English. So if anybody's interested, it's called Mind in Tibetan Buddhism, and we have it in English right here. So all of the topics that Rinpoche will be talking about, the definition of an awareness is a knower. The definition of a consciousness is that which is clear in knowing. So you have a lot of that all within here, and it's really helpful. And it's broken down into 3 categories, 7, 3, and 2. And it's the actual text that they use in Drepung Losang Ling to study mind and awareness. So we have that in English with Lati Rinpoche's commentary. So if anybody's interested in studying mind, this is probably one of the premier texts that we have available, along with a couple others, but this is the most definitive, and it's the direct translation of Drepung Losang Ling's text that they use. Digsong Rinpoche.
What da ga de sen na yi da na ba shi ba tuen ji ro sen na ba shi ba mi chao na ba shi ba yin sen mi chao sen de la me gi na ba shi ba da on bi na ba shi ba da yi shi ni yu de ro yi shi ma ba yi shi ni yu de ro ni yu de ro na ba shi ba on bi na ba shi ba se na on shi je yi ji na ba shi ba yi shi ro yi shi na ba shi ba.
So we can divide. So when we look at the words mind and consciousness, we would say that these are synonymous or have one meaning, dunchik. So mind and consciousness are of one meaning, and when we divide this into categories, we have physical and mental. So the physical, as note, would just be the eye, ear, nose, tongue, smell, tactile, and then anything, then the other, which is mental, would be that category of mental. So we have physical and mental. These are the 2 categories that we can break them down into. Digson.
Ta lö la song, so la song, and then naba sheva so what the song was percent and was. That's terrible, terrible to Karjagres. Terrible.
So this is what we present as Buddhists. It would be interesting to see what a scientist would present.
What is the terrible was?
So there would many questions we could ask, or we'd like to ask a scientist. There are many questions to ask a scientist. Digsung Rinpoche.
Ta lö so kyu jibu de ma nya ga me ba ja bi juten garese na juten de res da juten yu de es pa shin de kong ru pa shin juten yu de sheba na lue la da ge ne su sheba sheba da su su ju la ma ba su su ju su su lue de su su kamba da ba san lu yo res lue de da ge ne su shen go res ne su chaba ji go da su lue de su kamba da ba san da go res lue da ge ne su shen ba dans ka le re je la lue
The Yanjusur along. That's Lut Sorwa Sam Chu.
le zhi san ju ji de zhen ba je me ba yin song ro
Less
me ba
so.
ja ju sen ka de se na ju sen song ro da
Oh, Jutsun Sum. Okay. So then the Chu Lama Son, then Chu Gare.
chu shu le ro da tong bu le ge do le de zhen ba je me ba ja gu ju sen ka de se na le de sen jian na je ne su xian guo de su kan ba yin sang ba ji xian ba yo de cha jian yo de yue zong de me ba de ja ba de
Close.
那是先把当错大个龙水的先把是，海边别人当沙边人别人那这边人就说，那是说基本种种那对话嘛的呗，对岸种种那对岸用过的吧，我的错大个龙水的先把是，那俺就看了山的先不种种那基本用过的吧，
Less so.
先不嘛就对岸用过的吧，真的不嘛的呗，错我真的不先把有的是，错大个龙水的先把当是。个例句。
Sorwa Da Longshu.
大个龙学的先吧，俺就看那个选的的。
Enjoyments. Okay.
做的话真的话有了吧，都爱那都别嘞，我都是从这些的。
So the mindfulness of bodies. This is something that we hold close to us. So, for instance, our house. So I was looking at what form source the definition was. It's an apprehended object of an eye consciousness. So when we were talking about form source before, so it's that which is apprehended object of an eye consciousness, and then form is divided into those two categories of shape and color, and then we have inner and outer. So I just wanted to go back to that. So what are the reasonings? So bodies are something we hold close to us, something that we apprehend regularly, and when meaning close to us is that we regularly see it. It's something that is an object that's close to us regularly. Feelings are something that we experience and affect us. So, for instance, we have happy feelings, and then we have suffering feelings. And Rinpoche gave the example of food, for instance. If we eat good food that we think is good, then we have a feeling of happiness. If we eat some food that we think is bad, then we have a feeling of suffering. So this feelings are really related to the enjoyments. The enjoyments, or again, sometimes enjoyments are translated as wealth or things. None of those are really that literal, but enjoyments, things that we enjoy. So it's related to that in terms of that feeling. Okay, Sorwa Lapson.
错就打三大个我先把啥，三的打俺也三的俺影响不，这个么多啊。
An enforcer.
三大个我先把当时，
Ngo Shemba Sena? Ngo Shemba?
说是三的说是影响这个么的，
Ngo Shemba.
哎妈哎，
So we have this clinging, or this regular thought that the mind is my mind, that it's some. So we have this clinging associated with mind. So this is the reason that we find mind here, because we associate it with an ownership, in the sense that this mind is my mind. Nene?
去大个日先比之前节，他是比些的是，六出错三去了，去的大个日先把大个日，去的大个日先比之前节他就别是，大个大人的是我呢，去大人的也没关系，大人先过了的，大个日先比之前节是，
Daje.
大人的大去。 拉不等俺一大人意思， 라발을 되는 거 같다 버렸어. 인son 라바 다지레스. 나의 다지레스 그러다. 된다 보 말이야. 최다가 지진 비준에지 다지인지래. 됐다. 시비에서
I'm having trouble with the words related to phenomena. I don't know what this word is, so I don't know how to translate it. I don't want to just make something up to move on, so I'm just letting everyone know that I'm just going to leave that out because I'm not sure how to translate it. Yeah, daiji. I don't know how to translate it. Anyway, the phenomena. The Yanjer Surinam Rinpoche? Garishine?
최다가 뭐시 생다 뭐 최다가
Nature, Chuda, self's nature. That's not going to help. I don't know the word. Could give it a shot. Dar Shebi. Cheer.
다시 세들 다가지. 다가도 어떤 생을 kudu
Tarsh. So it's a knowing. I think it's a.
다시 다marva. pombi 다시. 나이 다시. 다가지.
Pombi. Darsh.
나이 다시.
It's a grasping. So because it's phenomena is something that we regularly grasp at. It's something that we can regularly grasp at. I have a dictionary here. I can look up that one word too, right at break. But I think it's regularly grasp at, because not my daji dash. We'll see if I have time. I'm gonna try. Right here. Lapsar. Views of grasping views. Dawa, Rinpoche?
자만이야 천이된 내용이다. 매발로 수선주주부 공론을 매네. 나바랑시 천이니니스 다는 공비 전바의 실어 공론도 주비 라주 첨바 전반이야 천이스 rendu. 매발로 수선주주부 공론을 매네. 나바랑시 천이니니스 다는 공비 전바의 실어 공론도 주비 라주 첨바 라이 고송도와
Dini.
Rashi Tenzin is Rang Tenzin, Shi Tenzin.
Inner and outer.
What the Alechu Tenyan Sultan did. Pashin Tao Pashin. Maybe that Le Jamanja, Le Tombo Le Jamanja Tenzin. Le Jamanja Moyu, Jamanja Ji Moyu de River. 매발 sensitive quand la mine 나바라지 천인이 스타는 공비
rangi tseni gi gonsu dang shi tseni tsu tambo druk de lu mitsa
또 울마래 울마
ula sache chu tamche gi tonshin zu Abhidharma.
Nipa ngo yu tsa wadanda, nipa ngo.
Mipa ngo.
Nipa. Chu.
Nipa.
Nipa ngo yu de.
Nipa. Tambo. The Nipa. I just can't do Parshin Chitin on the fly. It's the Geshe text.
Nipa ji ngo yu de.
Nipa jen ba.
Nipa ji ngo yu de se duwa.
Ngo yu de.
나 천이장 천이 매발로 주 senjujibu 공론을 매네 나바랑지 천이니니 수다는 공비 전바의 셔도 공론 주비 라주 첨바 전반적으로 천일이스.
Okay, so there's just no way I'm going to be able to translate this text the way that, unless I do it at home with a dictionary and like 20 hours at least of work. But I'm going to do the best that I can with what I have, because, like I said, this hasn't been translated into English because it's difficult. So right now, Rinpoche is talking about the four close placements of mindfulness. And these are the first 4 of the 37 aspects of enlightenment. So here we have, let me see if I can, I'm not going to be able to find it close enough. All persons are included in the knower of, okay. From the close placements of mindfulness, the final aspects of the Buddha, all Arya persons are included in the exalted knower of all aspects, since the path includes the 3 exalted knowers of all, according to enumeration. It is said 37 aspects are accepted for hearers, 34 bodhisattvas, and 39 for Buddhas. So with regard to the knower of all, there are 4 aspects. And phenomenon, thoroughly examining their specific and general characteristics by which the path. Oh, here it is. With regard to, this is the same as this. All right. With regard to the knower of all, there are 4 aspects of the close placements of mindfulness of bodies, feelings, minds, and phenomena, thoroughly examining their aspects and general characteristics by which the path which conceptualizes things engages in the 4 truths. Okay. It's Senge Zampo Chipa. Chipa.
ada pasindel mazun sang zambu kabur do chipa re inje.
Chipa. Sik Chipa.
Tandero da me le tu senchu je bagaron la mine me ba de le toi senchu je bagaron la mine na ba gar shagasna rang tsenyi da shi tsenyi na ba shagres rang tsenyi da shi tsenyi rang tsenyi sana ne le mata ba gomba ina tema nya le mata ba gomba tema shelo le mata ba gomba tema nya cha ja ba ina le mata ba gomba tema nya de le mata ba gomba ro le mata ba gomba rang tsenyi gomba res le mata ba le gi tsenyi le gi chu le gi tsenyi rang tsenyi chidang mata ba gomba shi tsenyi le mata ba da shi mata ba na ja mata ba ja chigro shiro le mata ba na ne le kono de ma de maro le mata ba gondu rang tsenyi de gomba res le mata ba gondu ro da shi tsenyi gondu ro da rang shi tsenyi ni so da ne gomba res.
Yeah, this is going to be hard. Okay. So, Rang, Dang Shi.
Rang tsenyi sana le double tuna le mata ba le mata ba do ne wa to da ma ba gongsu de rang tsenyi gongsu res. Shi mata ba do ne wa to da ma gongsu de shi tsenyi gongsu res.
So Rinpoche is going over the specific characteristics and the general characteristics. So that's what Rinpoche is, and he's giving the definition of specific characteristics and the definition of general characteristics. So Rang Gitseni Lu Mitapagom
Le mataba dunga tuwa dame ba gongsu de rang tsenyi gongsu res. Mataba dunga tuwa dame gongsu de shi gongsu res. Le mataba gongsu ro ta. Le mataba de marwa. Mare de le mataba gongsu ro ta. Shi tsenyi gongsu de res. Le mataba gongsu rang tsenyi gong. Shi mataba gongsu shi tsenyi gongsu. Le mataba gongsu chao ro.
Lumitapa Gom.
So
So if we're doing, so if we're looking at impermanence, for instance, if we're looking at the general aspect of impermanence, then this is general. If we're looking at, for instance, the impermanence of body, Lumitapa Gom. So if we're meditating on the impermanence of body, then this is a specific. So this is something which would be categorized as specific, and general would be something which was just the general impermanence. Then a chi rangit dan chi
Le tabla tsuna le mataba gombe tsui raga sen gong tsui is.
less so.
Mataba gombe tsui chi sen gong tsui is.
So okay, so if you're meditating on the impermanence of body, this is a specific. If you're just meditating only on the explanation of impermanence, then this is general. So this is how, when we're looking at this definition of, I'll read it again. With regard to the knower of all, there are 4 aspects of the close placements of mindfulness of bodies, feelings, minds, and phenomena, thoroughly examining their specific and general characteristics by which the path which conceptualizes things engages in the 4 truths. So these are the lack of true establishment of bodies, feelings, minds, and phenomena. So Rinpoche said that ago, and I forgot to translate it, so I wanted to make sure I got it in there.
This one. Me ba le tu san ju bu kan ru la me nes. Na ba han chi chen ni so ta na gong be, tan ba de she ro kan ru ju ba. Tan ba ni ya in la tan ba da she ro kan ru chan de. Ku du lo dang do. Wong kan she na tan ba de she ro bo pa pa tu me ku du.
So in a Sangha's text, again, way above my skill set, but in Tomei, in a Sangha's text, we find that wisdom is synonymous with Shera Dangaridunchi.
And then it's not
going to help adding more. Lopun inye tome. The 2 compendiums of the 5 trainings. 7. Less so then a inye garshine churang inye. Okay, so when we divide Asanga's texts, we're all over the place, so I apologize. But when we divide Asanga's text, we can divide them into 5 and 2. So we have the 2 compendiums and the 5 trainings. So I'll list them all. So we have the 5 treatises on the levels, which are the actuality of the levels of yogic practice, compendium of ascertainments, the compendium of bases, the compendium of enumerations, the compendium of explanations, and then we have the 2 compendiums, compendium of knowledge and the compendium on the Mahayana. So this is from the compendium of knowledge, where we find that this knower and wisdom are synonymous. I think that's where that brings that together. Let's see, general characteristics, conceptualize. Nene, Rinpoche? Okay. We'll take a short break. We'll be right back. So basically, it is, just to summarize, these 4 aspects of the close placement of mindfulness is what one is doing simultaneously while engaging in the practice of the 4 truths. So one is acknowledging all of these aspects of emptiness of these things while one is practicing the 4 truths. So there's a simultaneous engagement that's taking place, and that's what the point of all of these are. So once again, I'm just going to read this one more time, and then we can start. So among the 37, the first category are the close placements of mindfulness. There are 4 categories. So with regard to the knower of all, there are 4 aspects of the close placements of mindfulness of bodies, feelings, minds, and phenomena, thoroughly examining their specific and general characteristics by which the path which conceptualizes things engages in the 4 truths. So that's the definition, and then we have the general and specific as explained. And as I said, I went through the text at break time, and other than a couple of things that I couldn't find even in the dictionary, which I'll go look up at home, where I have a bigger one, all of it was correct that we just went through, with just a couple of omissions, not additions. So anyone who's taking notes, you can rest assured in that. Okay, Diksum Rinpoche.
다 대만이야 뭐 데려도 이번 대만이야 지 뭐유데 이제 르 대만이야 소와 대만이야 센도 주 대만이야 지들와 this was 천이 야오 말봐 지 뭐유데 매번 그
Demani demaje.
대만이야 대만이야 르 대만이야 소와 대만이야 센 대만이야 주 대만이야 지요로
공개매.
르 대만이야 천이 야고도와
Okay.
동보 대만이야 지 뭐유데 매번 르초 센주지라 미네 나바라지 천이니니소 다네 공배시비 템바당 시로 강론 주비 라주 쳔바데 주비에제 군주레 콘 수송도 선나 군주레 바바투메 뭐 가시나 템바당 시로 보스 템바 템바 르 템바니 야라 연나 템바 야나 시로 고도 시로
Mindfulness and wisdom.
템바스는 아주 넘어가듯어야 말
Less so.
아주 지 로존제네 마제베 텐데야 주로
Less so.
템바스 말바 마다바 공산도 마다바 마제베 템바 두가 마제베 템바 안 두가도 시로 어디 시로도 템바도 시로 가
Less so.
야고도와
So these 4 aspects of the close placements of mindfulness are on bodies, feelings, minds, and phenomena. And it says in the Compendium of Trainings by Master Asanga that there needs to be a union of mindfulness and wisdom. So what does this word for mindfulness mean? It means not forgetting the instruction. So for instance, if one is meditating on impermanence, not forgetting what this is. So the mindfulness is the not forgetting what it means, or not forgetting it in general, and then the wisdom is necessary. And then when you unite these 2, then you have a practice.
개진 시와 조상일 배네 어디 상대에 돌려비 네 상직이 취도서 그걸로 네 배이 돌주셔본다 소이니로다 군주단도 배이 돌주셔봐
Less so.
네 다줄로 벤렌 상이게 되네 어디 빨리 다 상대에 돌려버데 배이 돌주게 될래 다줄로 벤렌 그런 두번 다 상지여서도 와 어디 주네
So the reason, so we now have these texts, and the reason that we have these texts is because if we look historically in Tibet, Chenrezig was responsible for making the Tsayik Monastery, and Tsayik Monastery had one part of it called Daju Lopunling. And Daju Lopunling was a translator part of Sayik Monastery. And there they brought all of the Pali and Sanskrit texts and translated them into the Tibetan language. So it's because of that work that we're able to look at the texts such as the Sasanga's compendium and so forth, because the texts were brought from India in the Pali and Sanskrit language and then transformed by translators into the Tibetan language. So the Kanga. So it's because Chenrezig brought this Nalanda style of learning to the Sayik Monastery in Tibet that the Tibetans study in this Nalanda style of learning. So they have the same tradition of the Nalanda style because Chandrashita brought these teachings from India to Tibet. And then there was also Hashan Nuling, where there were many Chinese practitioners there as well. Nandak Suchinling. And Nandak Suchinling was where actual Chandrashita stayed. That was his, where he resided. So Chandrashita there gave the monastic vows of the fully ordained vows and the novice vows. So then also, when Padmasambhava came, Padmasambhava, the Buddha So Padmasambhava came to Tibet because there were problems at the time with local deities that were causing all kinds of harm and problems, and were upset because the Dharma was being taught. They didn't like this Dharma coming. So Padmasambhava came and subdued them, and Padmasambhava has a part of the monastery at Sai Monastery called Dudu Ngapa. Ngapa Ling. And this is where the tantric practitioners study. So Dudu Ngapa Ling, and this was made by Padmasambhava. Then Khensur the Gelung Getchu Gelung Yomari Ngapa.
That's why to la kan ya jin de be ma sam ba ma pe kon le ni mi kan me ya ji sem lo go de ma shin ne ba jin ten be ma sam ba pe sa du le ten ni mi ko me ju sem lo go de ji se mo sa yi to la.
So they were having troubles with local deities. They were building the Sai Monastery, other parts, and every time they would try to build it at night, it would get destroyed by the local deities. So when Padmasambhava came, he subdued the deities and actually made them helpers, and they were able to create very quickly these buildings because the deities helped them build them. So Padmasambhava is responsible for that. Then the Khensur Drapa Yurube Rinpoche?
And Pema Samba Nakalipene, and then Tena Euro, tea to Sukolo, Pema Samba Japanese, Sulakan, the
Foundation. So I'm not. Everyone knows that stories. I'm not good with conversational, but it's something that the Padmasambhava flew in the air. Do you help? No. Okay. Padmasambhava flew in the air and made this. Yeah, he wrote the foundation. He drew out somehow he went in the air and made the foundation. The local deity Zing. Konde Nankadro Gadu. Padmasambhava local deity Zin Nankadro. Okay, so Padmasambhava flew in the air and made the foundation for this building at Sayid Sulakang. And Khensur Drapa Yurube Rinpoche? Drapa. The Dudu Ngapa Drapa Yurube? Kuna. Okay, so I was just asking Rinpoche if there were monks ordained at this or if it was householders. And Rinpoche said, no, all householders. So this was a monastery for tantric practitioners, ngapas, and they were not ordained monks in this particular monastery, monks or nuns. They were not ngapas.
What the that what the Jundang as a good use and the Kaju Tenju to Kangalo de Drajul Benling, Santa Pali to you, but very you.
So when we look at texts such as the compendium by Master Asanga, and we look at these texts, the Kanjur and Tanjur, we have to think back to the fact that it was because of Draju Lopunling, the translator part of Sanyik Monastery, that we're able to see these texts because of the work that was done there. So Shandarashita has two texts, one on Madhyamika and the other Umadang Namdra, and the other on Pramana, Vartika Karika. So Kagi, Namdra? So maybe the I can get it. The text on the Pramana has about 100 pages or so, 100 folios rather, or so. I'll get you the name of it in one moment. And then the ornament for the middle way was also written by Shandarashita, and this text was a text about Madhyamaka. So the first text was the text on Pramana, or Pramana Vartika, and then the other text was on Madhyamaka. And that text is called the ornament for the middle way, and we actually have that text in English. If anybody is keeping track, we do have that text translated into English. Digsung Rinpoche.
What the patient what the king she was to the teach we were some Gulma, Flumen Yiji with Taja Gajichu once, Flumen Yiji, Kitchen she was to Lawwood. Flumen Yiji, don't need to be down the Gazette and the rest. Flumen
Basumani?
Kitchen she was.
Okay.
Kitchen she was to get, don't need to be down Gazette and the Jagados, patient and Gulma Yuri. Flumen Yiji with Taja Gajichu once. No choice, the Mama to tend in base at the Taco. That the Gaji should show us, no what the kitchen shows and then the jargon goes.
So when we find in Panchen Sunandrapa's texts where he quotes the ornament for the middle way in showing that the same proof for lack of true establishment is given, and that sign is dependent origination. So it shows that because of this sign of dependent origination, it proves the lack of true establishment. So we find this in Shandarashita's ornament to the middle way, and it's quoted in Panchen Sunandrapa's text. Digsung Rinpoche.
Panchen Sunandrapa what the Tariji, what the Pashin. Pashin Motu Jinji, ne Jung Quatu, the Shedun.
That's so.
To the Shedun, Motu Jingi, Quatu, the Shedun, Dechi Waters, Shedun. Then the second about the Kaza, Satus, Cindy, Puji was Niji. Then the Taju, the Tim, the Jib, Taju, but just one.
Tarchu. NGK Tarchu.
Tarchu and that to what you are.
Like further analysis. Okay. So when we get into the perfection of wisdom, the root text is the Abhisama Alamkara, the Ngutajen by Lord Maitreya. And then when we look down the line in the various texts, we find the Tibetan texts written by Panchen Sunandrapa, and there are three that we can find that explain the perfection of wisdom. It's first, the general meaning of perfection by Panchen Sunandrapa. The second, is the word commentary of the general meaning, of the word commentary on perfection. So it's word by word commentary. And then there is the further analysis, would be the text where it would be debate, a lot of debate inside of it. A lot of doubts are dispelled. Rinpoche said that the doubts text. That's the Tarchu. So we have Panchen Sonandrapa has these 3 works that explain the perfection of wisdom.
다 오말 대니요. 오마시는 타주스. 오마트 가르사.
And then
오만 주박인데 봐. 오마시는 다 타주니요.
so then for Madhyamaka, Panchen Sonandrapa has 2 texts. He has the general meaning of the middle way, and also this debate type text, the Tarchu. I wish I knew exactly, but it's like further analysis. It's further analysis of the text. It's the best way to explain it. Again, there's a lot of debate in it.
다 참만나네 로질 고마로스 로지요.
The Yanjusuna.
참만나네 로지요로.
Semanandra. Okay, so the
로질 고마로스 까마트 로지요.
So, in the Pramanavartika, we have Bechaji, 4th chapter. Okay. Okay. So then there's also the explanation of the 4th chapter of the Pramanavartika Karika. One text on the Vinaya and one text on Abhidharma. Then also text on Guya Samaja, the generation and completion stages. So wrote excellent texts, wrote many excellent texts. This Kali Kali, Gari Sompere? Nge Shera. So Panchen Sonandrapa said something to the effect of braggart. I'd have to see it. I'd have a dictionary again, but it's in his text where he says something like, "The arrow of my wisdom, the Jambeang, the Yanjasuranang." So if the arrow of my wisdom isn't stopped by Manjushri, then what master in Tibet could stop me? Something to this effect. So Panchen Sonandrapa made a statement like, if the arrow of my wisdom isn't stopped by Manjushri, then how could any Ganchen, land of the snows, anyone from the land of the snows, be able to stop my logic? Something to this effect. So sometimes you find things written like this. Haribhaja. So, got it. Oh, Yansik. Oh, so there are some that say that Panchen Sonandrapa is the reincarnation of Haribhadra. So this is what is stated sometimes. So his collected works are very excellent when we look at them. So everything from the Pramana up to Guya Samaja.
What the
Very large range of variety or range of texts. If this text could be translated into English, it would be very good. In the future, slowly, it will be. So the mind and mental factors are what is included. Sendan senjung, deta dang sombar denbi, sendan sem le jung nan so, she sung becher. Okay, deni le dro, those sombar. Those which are included within mind and mental factors. So those close placements of mindfulness are those which are included within mind and mental factors. Yeah. So what is explained is explained in terms of mind and mental factors. So when we look at the, there are, for the 6 mental consciousness, there are 6 accompanying mental factors, Rinpoche is saying. So the Semjung Dru, Sheba Leso. Miki number Sheba Semjung Dru Yure. Sorwa Duje de Nga. Garshene Dru. Dru. Kundunga. Leso. 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 Discernment, discrimination. Thought. So whenever there is mind, there is always accompanying mental factors. So there are 5 accompanying mental factors. Sorwa, feeling, discrimination, intention, contact, and ripa and yila jeba, and mental engagement. So these are always accompanying all minds. So, and it's even the wisdom realizing emptiness. So that's the point of this. So these mental factors are always present when the mental consciousness is present. So we have 6 mental consciousnesses. So these 6 mental consciousnesses all have 5 omnipresent mental factors that are present. So it is the mind and accompanying mental factors, this is through the lens of, if you will, when we look at the definition of the close placements of mindfulness of body, feeling, mind, and phenomena, thoroughly examining their specific and general characteristics by which the path which conceptualizes things engages in the 4 truths. So this thorough examination is done by the mind and mental factors, because the mind is accompanying mental factors always at all times. Okay, Diksung Rinpoche.
tenpa nyingja kadur nenchu mabu yungdu wa, oda chenriba tina yabudu trewa.
So these are points that we make, but it would be very interesting to ask a scientist what he or she thinks in terms of this.
chenriba kebare wada kuzul saba mabu shena kores.
Yanja Surinam Gongya Mebachi.
chenriba kebare wada su nga su nenchu su kuzu shena kuzu tobasan gali su shena kores.
So scientists are great scholars. So when we want to have further analysis, it's a person that we could go to and ask, and we could look further into this if there's doubts or if there's a need for further analysis. I thought I had the quote from the Compendium of Knowledge here, but I don't. Gongya Mepachi. So the general meaning of perfection is such a great text, Rinpoche is saying. It really is an amazing resource. Everything you could ever really want to know technically about Buddhism is in there. Four truths, the two truths, definitions, everything. It's a very, very wonderful text. The explanation of how the Buddha's made, the bodies and everything, it's all in there. So it would be great if we could eventually get this. So examples of Rangi Tseni, so examples of the Rang, specific characteristics, where is it? Sache, Tamche, Dugnyawa. Okay. Le Gongya Mebchi. Rangi Tseni, Gonsu Dang, Shi Tseni. Okay, Tambo Drute. Okay, Gongya Mebchi. Lumi Tapa, Tsambatsu, Dungyao.
Le Mataba, Keji Jibaro, that's entendu, Rangi Tseni Gongoares.
So an example of specific would be the impermanence of the body. Sorwa Dungyalwa. Okay, Lumi Tapa.
Le Mataba Gondi Rangi Tseni Gombares.
Sang.
Soa Dungyao Gombis Rangi Tseni Gombares.
Another is the suffering of feeling. The feeling of suffering is an example of a specific feeling of suffering. So, impermanence of the body, feeling of suffering, and Dungyala, Sem KG. So then also the next is the momentary nature of the mind, Sem KG, the momentary generation of the mind. J Jikten Gunu Nyomongi Chupong J Dang Namjangi Chulang. So specific abandonments. Okay, so specific abandonments such as the the afflictions, specific abandonments of the afflictions. And Rinpoche gave attachment, hatred, delusion. So these specific abandonments would be another category. Specific abandonments. Then a chulong mong de kangar. Ni drute. Okay, so then then general. So those are all examples of specific. So specific. So we have suffering feeling, the impermanence of the body, the momentary nature of the mind, the abandonments, the specific abandonments such as the afflictions of attachment, hatred, etc. So these were all examples of specific. Now examples of general, duje tamche. So an example of general is all duje. All compounds are impermanent. All compounds are impermanent. All contaminated things are suffering. Chu tamche. All phenomena are empty. Yeah. Lei nyomo jewa chen yembe che. Lei nyomo jewa chen, the producer. Okay, cheek. Sache tamche dungyawa. Leso. Okay, de la. Okay, so why is all that is contaminated suffering? All that is contaminated is suffering because it's a producer of the afflictions and karma. So if it's a producer of the afflictions and karma, then it's necessary suffering. So this is the first one. Sache tamche dungyawa chu. Then de mita. Duje tamche mita.
Duje tamche mita ba yinte keji ma yimbe.
Okay, so why would you say that all compounds are impermanent? All compounds are impermanent because all compounds are momentary. All compounds are products. All compounds are functioning. So this is the reasoning behind why all compounds are impermanent, and the reason we just gave that all contaminated things are suffering. Chu tamche dong are empty and selfless. Less so. Less so. So then we have all phenomena are empty and selfless. So when we look at all four of the noble truths, when we look at the truth of suffering, the truth of origin of suffering, the truth of cessation of suffering, the truth of path, we have these aspects of all four, that all compound are impermanent, all contaminated things are suffering, and all phenomena is empty and selfless. So we have, these are aspects that relate to all four of the noble truths. Digson? Nene?
Yeah. Then the
Matsu karma kashe yure.
Yeah.
Zundu yure. Then got to zundu yure. We're going to end there. Do anyone have questions? Does anyone have questions? Kali kasam.
The body, on the body part, there's inner and there's outer.
And combined.
And combined. Could you give an example of combined?
It's that which is accompanying the mental factors that apprehends the form but isn't outer or inner. So there's some parts that accompany the eye sense power. I'm sorry, I said mental factors. The sense powers. So the eye sense power is the inner. The object of observation of form, the form is the object of observation that's outer, which is outer body. And there's something which helps the sense power, accompanies the sense power in the apprehension of the outer, which is considered both. It's just, it helps something inside the eye that helps the eye sense power apprehend. It's just and that's how it's explained. It's just an accompanying. I'm sure there's much further explanation. Rinpoche, the inner outer, the nang dang she dang nang shin the nyamdu, the sho sumba sho nika sho zeni sho.
Ai shenani ki luis. Me now na che lu what the jet ni shenani ki luis amarbe. Ai shenani obote na ki luis. The really the
Wambo
shenani
nyamdu.
ki lu.
Wambo nyamdu.
Shenani ki lu. Ni ki lu da.
So it's accompanying this an accompanying of this eye sense power, an accompanier which isn't inner, which or outer, and it's an apprehender. It accompanies the sense power in this apprehension of the form's source, the form itself.
I was just wondering about the senses as they are, and the sort of sense as they are part of the mind, and then also as part of the inner body, and what kind of the distinction is. There's both the
Physical and the
mental.
mental.
The inner body has sense powers, but then also there's the sense consciousnesses, and just what the distinction between those would be.
Then the Wambo dang Sheba Chapagare, then Sheba Nangi.
Obote zures zo. Sheba ina zo mai bichar.
Okay, so let's start. Sense powers are form. Form and consciousness are mutually exclusive. So that's where Rinpoche said we start. So the sense powers fall categorically under form. The consciousnesses are consciousness, which form and consciousness are mutually exclusive. So they're separate. And
Marbeta.
then the kandre, the sheba dan the wambo.
Sheba obo zoro ne sheba dan obo gewaro.
The lapsar.
Sheba ina obo mai bichar.
Lapsar.
Tene. Ta ngoa ya bache ru che ngoa. Ana nga seje tanji ke zu sanji ko mu gawa tu jur ngo ba yina. Ana jasun chusi te ba ji sa ba yina jasun ma kan ba se mares. Seje do de sanji ko mu tu ju ngo ba yina. Sanji ko ma tu ju ba de rebe de kazel bejo je na dua yo mares. Sanji jeda jeta jasu chuna chuti tar jasu ma kan ba te me se. Seje shangshu yo ngo gawa ya shangshu ma tu ba te me se.
So Rinpoche just explained again that the sense powers are considered form, and the consciousness is consciousness. These two are mutually exclusive, and if it is a consciousness, it is necessarily not a sense power. So the sense power, just as a translator's note, is powering the eye, for instance. There's a power in the eye consciousness that's powering the consciousness to be able to see and they're mutually exclusive. So that's why it's necessarily form, and consciousness is not form. So it wouldn't fall under that. Mental consciousness, eye consciousness, ear consciousness doesn't fall under this category because bodies are necessarily form, inner, outer, and combined, so it would be form. So that's the distinction. So what Rinpoche said was, out of translator's note now, it's very important that we make a proper dedication because, like the Buddha said, that just like a drop of water from a bucket that's put in the ocean isn't extinguished until the entire ocean is extinguished. Likewise, a properly dedicated virtue becomes a cause for Buddhahood and remains with us until that actual goal is reached, that it becomes a cause for. So it's very important that now we do a very strong proper dedication so that this virtue that we've created becomes a cause for our enlightenment. Diksun. So concluding mandala offering and dedication prayer, and thank you everyone for your patience. And I'm going to try between classes to see if I can't get some of that section translated where there's maybe one or two sentences that are important, I believe, that I didn't translate. But the main body of it was translated properly. Concluding mandala offering and dedication prayer. The fundamental ground is scented with incense and strewn with flowers, adorned with Mount Meru, the four continents, the sun and the moon. I imagine this as a Buddha land and offer it. May all sentient beings enjoy this pure realm. I dedicate whatever virtues I have collected for the benefit of the teachings and of all sentient beings, and in particular for the essential teachings of Venerable Losang Drapa to shine forever. I send forth this jeweled mandala to you, precious Guru. I dedicate all this virtue to emulate the knowledge of the hero Manjushri and likewise Samantabhadra as well, with whatever dedication is praised as supreme by all the conquerors who traverse the three times. I also dedicate all my roots of virtue for the sake of auspicious deeds. In that pure land surrounded by snowy mountains, you are the source of all benefit and happiness. All-powerful Avalokiteshvara Tenzin Gyatso, may you stay until samsara's end. I pray for the long life of the precious Khensur Wandak, upholder of scriptural and realizational doctrines, spiritual friend who trained extensively in the 5 great philosophical texts with exceptional wisdom and perseverance. Tuji Rinpoche Gutsi Shapi Denra, Lamrim Chemo Kanka Chirlan.